Hello, Too Tall here, coming in, ducking on the search bar to bring you another live stream of Fault Milestone 1. Again, I'm surprised on how well this is actually doing. Each day I'm surprised with how much it goes up with in views and popularity. Very surprising. Very, very, very surprising to me, at least. But, yeah. Welcome all to the live stream, part 3 of Fault. And it was supposed to be later, but I left off at a good part, and I want to continue the story. Those of you who watched and are enjoying this also probably want to know and continue the story. But, yeah. So, what do you say we go finish this story? Or not finish, because we're not going to finish it, because I took a look at something, and I'll actually show you this. I did some research on this little what's the word I'm looking for? Game. And I was surprised. Supposedly it's a 4 to 6 hour long game. But I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that one bit. I'll explain why in a sec. But, yeah, I did some research and they're very interesting. But, yeah, it's like, there's another one, actually, more like episode 3 or the third game is coming out, this month. And this is Fault 1 Milestone, yeah, but Fault Milestone 2 1 part. Fault Milestone 2 is actually the next one after this, obviously. But this third one I did some research on. It's actually a quote-unquote prequel to Fault 1 here. Fault Milestone 1 here. About Retina. Or Retona. It's Retona. I've been saying her name wrong, actually. It's not Retina. It's Retona. How I've been pronouncing her name wrong all that time, I don't know. But, yeah, I'm trying to estimate how much longer do we have on this game, and I decided, let's go to the gallery here, which is pretty interesting. You can play the audio tracks, and, you can take a look at the art that they had while making it. But, gallery here, this is interesting. It has all the, CG events. Then at the beginning with this, Retona comes up behind her, behind Coco there, and everything we've been through. So I'm looking here, and you have to unlock them. And it took us basically 2 live streams to unlock that much, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3. So 8 there, so 9. Took us 2 live streams to unlock 9. 8. So I'd say we probably got, if this is anything to be measured off of, we got about 2, 3 more live streams left out of this. And each of these live streams are 2 hours. This might be a 6 to 4 hour game, but because the way I'm doing the live streams, I'm talking and showing it, it's a lot longer than that. So yeah. And there's this movie tab is just basically the intros, like for example. The intro here. I just realized I can't skip these, so yeah, consider this an intro. And it's a baller intro as well. I love this intro. I'm just be quiet. I also noticed that she actually makes her sword, which is pretty cool. So she doesn't have it on her, she makes it out of thin air pretty much. Haven't met him yet, but something tells me we're going to pretty soon. Our bad guys, or bad gals. Welcome to the stream, John Wayne. Oh, look, animation. Yeah, that was awesome because, but yeah, I love this game. This is such a great game. I can't wait till part 3 comes out. And I can't wait for us to do part 2 because I'm surprised at how popular this is. Honestly, I didn't think it would be popular, but it is. The first one's got like 84, second one not much, but still. Anyways, let's get on to the game. Enough of me rambling. We were... Where were we? I think we were... here. Yeah, here we go. The next day... I feel so bad. She's my favorite character too. I'm pronouncing her name wrong too. Ooh, rainbow. Anyways, let's go. Celestine. Let's wait a little longer. Just a little longer. And if she still doesn't come... Are you two Celestine and Ratona? Ah, there he is! We turn around to find a tall man standing behind us. Chapter 3. Discrepancies. There's 8 chapters I checked, and this is only chapter 3. So basically get a chapter a live stream, which is very interesting. This will be interesting. My full attention focused straight into his eyes. They were sharp, almost combative, and they weren't the kind to let just anyone get close to him. Maybe he was born with them? Just what kind of life would one have to live to get such a sad gaze like that? Ooh, the music. And you are? My name is Rudo Zvit, I guess. CEO of the Zvit Company. No, I suppose that title means nothing to the likes of you two. Long story short, I'm Sarah's owner. Sarah? Owner of Sarah? Is that some kind of store? That's the thing that was accompanying you in the night before. I was right! I was right! She's a creation. Last night? You mean the girl we were with yesterday? Rune? What? Upon hearing the name, his face stiffens up. Calling itself Rune now? Is that right? Yes, she was. I think I turn down the music just a wee bit. Tell me if I can turn up the music or not. But okay, it looks like the video, my voice is getting higher than the music. Anyways, Rudo lets out an expressive sigh. Let's get one thing straight. I don't know what lies that thing has told you, but what you spent the entirety of yesterday with is without a doubt Sarah. Could you please stop addressing Rune as if she were a thing? What's wrong with referring to an object as an object? Why you? I glare at him with the intent to intimidate. Just what do you want with us? Oh, is that so? Rudo seems to have come to a conclusion of sorts as he silently approaches me straight on. I would at that point go, next another step, and I'll stab you. But this should be interesting. As we stand right across each other, the difference in height becomes glaringly obvious. I only just barely come up to his chin. Well, we have the skill to kick this guy's backside. I instinctively got myself into a defensive stance. And then, your eyes are absolutely exquisite. Okay then. Time stops. My body is frozen still. I break out in a cold sweat all over my body. Their lush brilliance, the deep color of your iris, such splendid eyes, as if they were radiating a faint glow of light. It's nothing more than a cringeworthy cliche lines, one after another. Or it should have had the gaze in his eyes staring straight at me, not been swirling full of hatred and anger. Retona, I see. I heard you were travelers, but for you to have been outsiders. Excuse me. What do you want from us? So be it. Rudo distanced himself from us again. Just who is this man? There has to be a limit to how far you can take xenophobia. Retona, are you okay? I'm fine. Just caught me by surprise, that's all. Back to the topic at hand. What on earth did you tell Sarah? I can't imagine what could inspire it to take such unexplainable actions. Now, just a moment here. I'm telling you that girl we were with yesterday was Rune. If you're going to keep insisting that she's Sarah, then we'd like to see some proof. Unfortunately, I don't have time to explain everything just for you. Let's put it this way. I'm just her overseer. You're Rune's overseer? You haven't been making sense at all this entire time. This morning we found Sarah leaving my company mines with sediment in its honest person. What? Mine? We're currently excavating it. Sarah must have thought we wouldn't notice it taking some class 4 sediment. Stealing from the mines just to give to people like you, outsiders? What is it thinking? I swear. Excavating? Well, it's just that the work I do is a little special. It's a pretty unique way of making a living in this place. Oh. Don't tell me. No way. Rune is a mana mine worker? Just how slow do you have to be? Look, Rune does not exist. Okay, look, whoever we were with yesterday, Sarah was it? Is she a laborer in a mana mine? She is. And what of it? Oh, this just got interesting. Very interesting. This is an outrage. Are you insane? Working in a mana mine with that frail, dainty body? She couldn't possibly be doing this of her own will. Own will? There's no such thing. I give it orders and it carries them out. That's all there is to it. So she is a robot. I wouldn't have noticed. Well, I guess you could have noticed, but still. Do you mean to say she's a slave? Oh, she's not a robot? She's a... Are you treating Rune as a slave? Does this country still practice slavery? This is just too much. You say that you've made friends with Sarah, but for it not to have told you something so important, considering your friends, you ought to be expressed. Please answer me. Is Rune a slave under your possession? Selphine. That's a preposterous question. My time isn't worth having to educate people who've completely misconstructed this entire situation, like you, from the very beginning. And I have little to gain once you do understand. I thought this guy would be like a decent guy. I was wrong. This guy's a complete ass. Anyways, so you go out of your way to meet us, but you won't even tell us anything. Now, no need to look so disappointed. I came here to pay you back for your time. As he speaks to us, he takes out a finely shaped sediment rock from his pocket. This sediment was clear as glass, without a single impurity. Class 1 sediment. Considering how much sediment costs in the outer pole, one has to wonder just how much this would cost. You two want some sediment, am I right? Here, I keep you waiting, so take this. No thank you. Rather than that, we'd like to hear the full story behind all this. That's too much trouble, so I'll just skip to the end. Rune is not a slave. Those two aren't even remotely comparable. To make things clear and simple, it broke the company's rules. And we have to take the best steps possible to make sure this doesn't happen again. If you want more information behind that, then conduct your own investigation. Now if you'll excuse me, wait. What? What will happen to Sarah? And why do you have a concern yourself with that? Because she's our friend. Celestine immediately responded in a loud voice. Her patience seems to have run dry. Rune stole some sediment. That's an issue here, right? Then I'll just pay you back for it. So don't do anything to Rune. And here I was wondering what you'd had to say. You do realize this entire incident happened because you don't have the money to actually pay for sediment, right? That may be true for us right now, but once we return home, you're telling me to trust someone who I've only just met? This isn't something you can solve with just your emotions. Rudo once again begins to walk away. Wait! I'm a mana crafter. Retona? If you can give me any empty sediment, I can fill it with purified mana. With the stones the size that you're holding, I can easily top off 10, even 20 of them. Well, how about that? We still have a problem? You're a rather desperate girl, especially for you to make such remarks in a public area like this. And here I thought you had your head on straight. I suppose I overestimated you. Well, come on. Purified mana from a human. That's an extremely valuable resource in these parts, right? I'd say it's quite a good deal. Good grief, how utterly naive. Look, let me share some insight with you. When it comes to a crime and punishment, the system does not exist simply to fix the crime. It must be a system that can reform the behavior and physique, or the psyche of whoever commits the crime. Apologize and reprimands are just a byproduct, a formality. In other words, nothing more. Is there anything we can do at all? Nothing. The fact that I, the victim of this matter, haven't demanded anything from you means that matter already has been resolved. I simply came here so I could hear your side of things, but it doesn't look like there's any point in that. But more importantly, both of you had better not forget about Mana Shock idling around here long enough. You won't be able to leave the outer pole, especially you with the red eyes. Based on the glow in your eyes, I'd say you have 3 days left here. Excuse me? I'm talking about Mana Shock. You're from the outside, right? There's no way you don't know about it. You can find out that much just by looking into someone's eyes? Who is this man? Leave. That's the best course of action for you right now. Well, if you do end up being unable to leave the outer pole for the rest of your life, then that's a different story. Rudo finally parts from us, leaving behind that final sardonic remark. Whatever. I don't know. Celestine continues to stare in the direction that Rudo left, her face showing her refusal to accept the outcome. It was extremely vague, as if he was intentionally speaking in circles to obscure something. Retona. Yes? I was wondering what my father would have done if he were in our place, but I'm struggling to find an answer. Slavery. I've only heard about it in stories. If King Valor were here. Oh wow. I think I would intervene. That's what I would do. I'm not sure if the king would do that because it's just one person. This is I'm at the point I'm basically going through this blind. The only part I know about was at the beginning with the fight in the castle and the teleporting of the way. That's the only part I've ever seen before I did this because that was the part of the demo. Anyways, let's wait, did I? But more importantly, he would have found out whether or not slavery is still being practiced here. Probe and investigate. Was one of King Valor's favorite phrases. I guessed right! While other countries often took issues straight to the battlefield, I don't think that would work here. Rasenheide had always prioritized conducting a thorough investigation first to determine the proper course of action on their culture, their character as a nation, their values, the maintenance of the passed down, yeah, taking all of it into consideration to find true justice. So yeah, that was the correct answer. However, if slavery really was being practiced here, then that simply isn't an issue of drifting cultural values. In this world, there are things that are absolutely evil, and I do believe it's part of Rasenheide's duty as representative of the Alliance to stamp out these evils. That sounds vaguely familiar to something. Anyways, there's no justice in allowing the exploitation of people for their selfish desires of others. Yes, violence is certainly out of the question, but we can get a little rough. In this day and age, lines between good and evil are blurred. That's why, as people who can extend a hand to others, we must take more aggressive action. Even if we can't effect any change to the system, we must at least take action. At the very least, I'd like to confirm Rune's safety. Sophie clouded, dissatisfied expression brightened considerably, but I still don't think I can come to a decision. Her expression once again clouded up. Mana shock, right? Yeah. This isn't something for me to decide on my own. However, no need to worry about anything. I've already come up to a decision of my own. Let's set a time limit. What? That means Rune, that man, Rudo, told us 3 days, but I feel that's cutting a bit too close. Let's pin it at 2 days. No matter what the outcome, we'll leave the outer pool the day after tomorrow. Until then, we'll do our best to help. Is that alright with you? Yeah! Well then, your orders? Bertona, yes. Let's help Rune out. We come across the well-rounded lady whom we purchased a map from yesterday as she was cleaning her storefront. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Oh, welcome back. Is there anything I can help you with today? Actually, we have a few questions about Rune. Do you mind sharing a bit of your time with us? Rune? Oh my, what could it be? Huh? What do you mean? Don't you remember us? What are you talking about? Don't play jokes on me. Of course I remember what happened just one day ago. She's the girl who was with us. The girl who was with you was Sarah, right? Looks like we'll have to use Sarah from here on. What's wrong with your face? What's wrong? Your face looks pale. Yesterday she introduced herself to us as Rune. Oh my. I wonder why she would do that. I apologize for my rudeness earlier, but I'd just like to clarify things. This girl who was with us today is named Sarah, yes? Yep, that's right. The lady shakes her head. Sarah's been assigned to maintenance work on the power grid here. Alrighty, John Wayne. Grid? You see that box looking thing over there? She points to a box at the corner of the store. There's a number of long cylinders just out of the box, extending down into the ground. What is that? You don't know about the grid? You sure are behind the times for someone so young. You know about the mana mine outside of town? They extract mana from there and send it through the pipes to every household in here. So there's some kind of filter or something or other in that box that has to be replaced every month. And the one who does that for us every month is Sarah. So her work isn't just okay. A reason to attempt to use a false name, perhaps she was part of some kind of scam? Now, if it were a scam, then Ruda would have taken me up when I offered him the mana. If they were both accomplished, then that would have made much more sense. However, Rune refused my offer without a second thought. So if this isn't a scam, then what could it be? Alright then, does anything come to mind when he mentioned the mana? Then we mentioned the name Rune? Rune? Well, it's just a normal girl's name. She stops talking mid-sentence. Her expression darkens as well, or it seems to me. Now that you mention it, I remember one peculiar girl named Rune, but this story isn't a pleasant one. Ooh. Oh, I want to know what this is all about. What do you mean by that? At the Zeventites, there was a girl who was named that. Oh, I mean the family, not the company. But apparently she died about 6 years ago. I know the details myself. It's just an old rumor, so I don't know if it's true or if what is and what isn't true. But a fact that the Zeta family had a daughter named Rune. Well, I've never seen her since, so maybe that rumor of her dying really is true. Could we have the details on the story? That girl was the devil in disguise. Some people believed that, and the others didn't. But I'm sure she was. That damned girl should never have been born in the first place. Please calm down. We're talking about a mere child here. Was she a little naughty? Regardless of what happened, she was still a child. Referring to her that way isn't very fitting. If we were talking about any normal child, I'd agree with you there. But you just don't know who she was. That's why you can still think that way. Are you that certain? I'll have you know, I have 3 kids of my own. I've experienced more than any fair share of my fair share of bratty little kids. But that Rune, she was just worlds apart. Everywhere she went, you could bet disaster soon followed. It's hard to imagine her lying about this. But she was still a child, right? How do I put it? She makes your hairs stand on end. I heard rumors that she would be violent when out of sight, but when you meet her in person, she'd be so prim and proper. It was almost sickening. She acted very mature even though she was just a little child. Every time you spoke with her, it felt like she was planning something. At the age of 7, they managed to put that kind of pressure on an adult many times her size. You understand what I mean, that if you met her too. Well, not that you can though, now that she's dead. Say, Ratona? Yes? She mentioned Zevhites, whatever. Do you think they have anything to do with that Rudo person? Wait, don't tell me, did you actually meet Rudo? Yeah, just a little while ago at the Central District. Oh my word, that's just unheard of. What do you mean? I never heard of him ever just walking around town like that. Say, was that rune related to Rudo somehow? She was his little sister. Wow. Poor Rudo. He's still so young, but both his parents and his little sister passed away one after another. Now he has to manage an entire company all by himself. Eh? Excuse me. I'll be right there. Sorry, girls. Looks like the story's over. I got a customer. Sorry for coming by and disturbing your business out during your business hours. We appreciate the information. Thank you. The girl we met yesterday, Rudo's little sister? Well, I wouldn't bet on it. What makes you say that? Maybe the rumors that she died were all wrong. She did say it was a long time ago and that she doesn't remember so well. If that's true, then that means Rudo treats his little sister as an object and forces her to work in the mana mines like a slave, wouldn't it? Maybe. It's something that isn't out of the ordinary for this. Maybe it isn't something out of the ordinary for this country. I certainly don't want to imagine that kind of scenario, though. Huh. Ratona? What is it? Are you alright? You look a little pale. Feeling slightly lethargic. There's also a heat I feel. Quite unpleasant. It's strange, like every muscle in my body is slowly losing tension. The mana inside my body seems to be diffusing outwards thanks to the osmic pressure from the difference in mana Whoa. Mana what? Concentration. I'm fine. But more importantly, how are you feeling, Sylphine? I'm feeling perfectly fine. Alright. You must be feeling mana shock, right? I wonder why I feel particularly fine. Perfectly fine. Need to be able to live as long as possible they can as well. That being the case, they don't use craft in their day-to-day lives. Using craft that they could instead have to attend performance is actually considered taboo. They mustn't trouble themselves with the hassles of daily routine. Far more important thing for them to concern themselves with. Naturally, Sylphine is no exception to this. Probably because, unlike me, you don't use any mana crafts on a daily basis, which means the one set of symptoms take longer. A small relief. If my symptoms worsen, I can use that as a basis to determine when the one set of mana shock will occur for Sylphine. Ratona? A lady? Is this another order? Sylphine looks me straight in the eyes as she continues. Wait, what? If you feel that you're in any danger, then I want to leave the outer pole immediately. So please, if it comes sooner than the 3-day limit, then let me know as soon as you can. I understand. For the time being, I truly do feel fine. It's probably just my unfamiliarity with the sensation I'm experiencing for the very first time. Okay. However, we do not have any concrete plan for a while. We're here in the outer pole. That's not exactly very good. Just asking around isn't very effective either. That was a really quick chapter. Rook appeals, glad to be closed. What? Again? Closed right in the middle of the day? Is he at the tavern again? The tavern at this time of day? No, I think he's inside. Eh? I gently push against the door, and it opens. I knew it. Can we just go in like this? Most likely. So, you're not 100% sure? Ah, wait for me! Hey, Hertzvon, you in here? I intentionally call out for him in a loud voice. If my hunch is right... Whoa, there's someone over there. Looks like I was spot on. Something quickly hides itself behind my back. Hertzvon, sorry to intrude, but we need to talk to you. Someone's trying to get up. There's something there, Retina. I heard some creepy creature's voice. It's alright. That creature's pretty weakened right now. The voice I hear from behind his shop sounds like the distillation of all the hatred in the world into a single audible groan. Ah. That hit the spot. Hertzvon smacks his lips at the food that Sophie cooked up to help him recover from his hangover. If you want seconds, just let me know. And this experience is the greatest luxury of his life. A country's princess just cooked him up a meal to help him through his hangover. You better be grateful for that meal. Are you mad, Retona? Should I have cooked you up something too? I'm not angry. No, not in the slightest. This stuff brings you back to life. Hey Missy, how old are you? You sure know how to cook up a meal to sober up a old drunk man like me. I just love cooking. And I've been cooking up stuff like this every time Retina gets drunk. Covers Sophie's mouth at the speed of light. So our character does have a drinking from... Well, judging from her job, I can see that. Delphine, now that we've settled down, why don't we move on to the reason why we're here? Oh, right. Please don't share information that does not need to be shared. No idea what's going on, but looks like I owe you once again. If you've got a question, shoot. Thank you. But before we get it... A toast for us meeting again. He declares he takes out the flask from the inside of his pocket. We're speechless. Sarah? Nope, can't say I've heard of her before. She was the other girl who was with us yesterday. Well, I never met her since yesterday then. Basically, the only person I know are the customers of the shop that are the regulars at the tavern. Is that so? I suppose she doesn't come to this part of town all too often. He does have a point. She did say it was a long time since she last had a meal at the tavern, which means it's very rare for her to come here. Does this store also use that power grid? You girls from a different era or something? Of course we're using the power grid. Apologize, we're rather behind on the information about this place. It ain't just this place. There's not a single place on the entire island that doesn't make use of this grid. You've got your own issues to deal with, right? You need to look into that stuff, or else you're not going to be able to follow the conversation. If you don't do your research beforehand, everyone's gonna think you're the evil eye. You got it? Thank you for the warning. Damn, how many times have we been warned about this already? Anyway, so about Sarah, she's apparently working for Zedev Enterprise. She handles changing the filters on the grid. Oh, whoa. Hey. Wouldn't she come by here every so often for that? Nope. And if she was Zedev, then all the more reason for her not to come here. How come? Man on this side of the island doesn't come from Zedev. Ours come from Haves. Haves? That's right. They're the one and only rival of Zedev. Instead of siphoning mana from the ground or the mines like Zedev, it extracts it straight from the air and purifies it. From the air? The air has no mana. We're in the outer pool, right? But the border between this place and the inner pool is just full of it. I don't really get any details myself, but that mana from the air, what it is, colored mana or something. See, colored mana isn't like purified mana that you get from the ground. You can't just use it as is. Purifying that mana, then distributing it, is what Havens does. Well, anyways, I don't know about their free time, but the devs and players aren't going to be coming here on a company time, that's for sure. Then, do you know anything about a girl named Rune? Suddenly, His Von freezes. The moment he heard that name, he acted just like the lady from the general store. Phew. Hertzvon takes a long swig from his flask and breathes a small sigh. That's a pretty heavy name to bring out. So is Rune really that much of a problem child? Problem child? That's way too late. She was the devil's spawn. Another comparison to the devil. She took out my nephew's right eye. Really? Huh? What? What do you mean? Sorry, but I don't want to talk about this. And I don't want to spit on the grave of a kid who's kicked the bucket. No, hey. What's the matter? I figure I really shouldn't be sticking my neck where it belongs, but you two did save my life after all. There's a man named Albas in Zetev Enterprise. If there's anyone who can answer your questions, then it's going to be him. For the meantime, head to the tavern tomorrow. I'm sure you'll meet him there. Oh, wait, what? Ah. At least right-click made it go back. Empty seats between all of them. One man stood at the edge of the room while the other three were seated, his gentler expression on his face as he argued with the others, with Sarah huddled close by him. Like I said, the original rule is that one must someone needs to go on a diet. The entire discussion is pointless. It's already been ages since Sid's regulations were abolished. None of the other sisters have taken an issue with it either. Sarah, what do you think about all this? I apologize for my actions. See? You're the only one who brings selfish here, trying to make an issue out of it. Sarah, your actions here make me think you somehow misunderstood your very reasons to exist. Who is she, by the way? I want to know. You're the property of the Dev Enterprise. You do understand that, right? That we need to reconsider who's responsible here. Good grief, Elbas. Just how many times do you want us to repeat ourselves? The point is, we don't want to touch on the subject of sisters, altogether. You understand that, right? What's all this now? This was something decided on together. You're right. The go-ahead was given by each and every one of us. That was because on paper, the numbers all look good. Most of the sisters are working as well as minors. But the main reason why we allowed the project to continue is because Sid would take full responsibility for it. That was all in the contract, and you better not forget that. But we, the board of directors, decided that should something happen to Sid, we did. All of us decided that Rudo would shoulder the responsibility. He's the CEO of such a large corporation. That position comes with obligations to match. Just how long are you going to keep that attitude up? Ruckles. In terms of sheer workload, his handling's far more than Sid's ever had. Just look at how many people have come to the meeting, and maybe you'll understand. It's sickening. This is why we keep warning you. Just look at the sad face on it. It just makes things even worse. If there's a problem, fix it. Even better if we can just get rid of it altogether. Simple as that. You know we can't do that, right? That's why we're here talking about it. Sooner or later, moral problems like these were bound to crop up. So she's not human? Interesting. I'm sure we already knew that much. The way you talk is proof that you've lost sight of the real issue, and that the only thing you care about is the numbers on the bottom line. Ha! Morals, don't kid yourself. Numbers are everything. The bottom line is everything. This company isn't going to survive on charity. Numbers are what put food on your table, Abbas. Calm down, you two. There's no need to get so worked up. Heck, I'd like you to explain to me why we have to waste our time on something like this. God, my mouth is getting so dry at the moment. Yeah. He makes a good point. While the argument is somewhat different from before, it's rather unfair that we continue to push all the responsibilities to Rudo. The attendance for this meeting. Out of 12 dictators, only 4 of us here. Not a single person from Lab 9 except Alpares has shown up. Bothel and the others had matters to deal with. They wouldn't have been here otherwise. Except it's only the 4 of them from Lab 9 that you just won't shut up about the whole issue. Most of us on the board of directors don't even want to concern themselves with this anymore. Honestly, all the troubles caused by this issue is doing nothing but creating uncertainty, friction, unnecessary friction between us, and I want no part of it. I see now. Top 4 Executive Enterprise spent nearly an hour debating with absolutely no results to show for it. Am I right? Why you? The incident notwithstanding. I'm sure everyone has personally felt the monetary benefits granted by the Sisters Project. Am I mistaken? Well, that is true, Sarah. Sir, I've already told you this. This silly compensation that the Sisters are supposed to receive payment in cash or in kind of their work rendered. The system allows them to choose either. In this case, as long as the on-site overseers gave the approval for the use of sediment as her payment, then that still falls within that agreement. Sarah did just as she was told. I see. So basically you're saying that I'm simply trying to just pin some kind of blame on Sarah. Is that it? What? When I say compensation has been annual, normally you take that to mean that a payment for your work has been scrapped, yes? The fact of the matter is that not a single sister has been present to mean payment in cash is no longer allowed. There wasn't a single one that came asking for conditions about payment in any kind. I believe this is proof that Sister, Sarah sighed, have understood the intentions of the board of directors and myself. But also, while I rather not bring this up in public, we aren't in the labs of Elbas. Outside of Lab 9, at the very least, I'm your supervisor. You will have to respect that. I apologize. I'll keep that in mind from here on. Moving on, regarding this incident with Sarah, this will be discussed in votation tomorrow. I believe this matter is heavily enough to merit discussion. Ha! That means the whole incident is your fault. However, everyone, you all seem to be making a very basic misunderstanding. Not once have I asked the board of directors about how to deal with this situation. All I've done is to sound the alarm. Perhaps some of you might have some kind of hidden agenda, or maybe it's simply a mistake on your part. Given the considerable thought regarding Sarah's actions. In any case, I consider the act of temperamentum to treason against the company. Rudo! I simply wanted to hear your thoughts on the matter, for I have turned to some chaotic blame game. I will contact you once the board of directors reach a conclusion. Until then, return to your usual duties. Work harder to make up for the time wasted here. Understood. You are not allowed to leave your quarters outside of your shift. Yes, sir. Now pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Your room will not be locked, nor will be anyone monitoring you. You are free to obey or disobey my orders. You can just throw everything away and escape. Even fight back and kill Albas and I, if you so desire. Think hard about exactly what you want to do from here on. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I do. Good. Resume your duties. I want to clock this guy in the face so bad. I want to go find him. I want to knock him out, use chloroform, bring him back here, tie him up, and use him as target practice. This guy is horrible. What a piece of shite. I hope Retina takes her glass sword and uses it and cuts limb after toe after phalange after freaking organ and everything off this. This guy is horrible. This guy is horrible. To cut him up, then burn him, to take his ashes, put the ashes after incinerating him, put him in another incinerator, incinerate that, and then price it into everything, and then throw it at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. Well, I think I made the right decision now to intervene because what that guy is doing is horrible. That is slavery. That is bottom line slavery. Head to the tavern before that and ask around. I don't see why not. Sorry, I just can't sit still like this. I understand. It's alright. It's alright. I understand. I said that backwards. Let's head over and ask the people there a few questions. We may run into someone who knows Alpras person. This place again. Back! I'm so glad you came back. You're like two beautiful flowers gracing this little tavern of ours. Huh? You remember us too? You have quite a memory. But of course, lovely ladies like you are such a rarity here. How could I ever forget? Hey, y'all better listen up. We've just taken our last orders for now. Oh. We ain't taking any more orders. You got it? Oh dear. Sorry, you two. Even though you come all this way, it looks like they're going to start prep for dinner service. No, actually, we didn't come here for a meal. Oh? There's something we'd like to ask. Would you happen to know a person named Alpras? Alpras? Ah, you mean Alpras Falster. Isn't there these they're like a bunch of German names? I don't know why, but I feel like if you think of German, you pronounce the names easier and they sound better. Of course I do. He's one of our regulars here. Could you describe what he looks like? Well, he's quiet, middle-aged looking man. But he's got a rather sharp mind. He's pretty high up in the position of his Zvet, if I remember. He really doesn't come as often as he used to, but when he does, he sits at the table over there in the back to have his dinner. The waiter points out a specific table as he tells us, "Alright, you have my gratitude for this information." Man, that guy. So, how is it? So that's how it is. So, that person of his was just an act. Real smooth operator. Getting two pretty girls. Damn. What is this man even thinking? Oh, just to make it clear, it's nothing like you imagine. I swear, we're only looking for someone. The side and comment are totally unwarranted. Retina, your face is scaring me. Well then, what should we do now? Our schedules are completely open until tonight. Rotona, look over there. Rune. Good afternoon, Miss Delphine and Miss Rotona. My hair stands on end. If we don't finish this within the time limit, I'm gonna make this an extra long stream because I want to know exactly what is going on. Despite it being a smile, the way she does it without a trace of emotions is nothing but eerie. Owner? Why are you treating yourself as an object? People aren't meant to be treated that way. I'm not a person. I'm a thing. Rune replies instantly without a trace of hesitation or in her voice. What in the world are you saying? Is that Rudo blackmailing you to do this? Master Rudo has done nothing wrong, nor is he blackmailing me with anything. I am willingly in the employment of Master Rudo. Rudo. I'm calling him Rudo. As if a slight hint of emotion had returned to her. No way. No matter how I look at it, you couldn't possibly be doing this on your own free will. Milady? Come on, tell us please. We might be able to help you out here. We're friends, aren't we? I do not have the authorization to become friends with anyone. My name is Sarah. I sincerely apologize for giving you both the incorrect name during our first encounter. Although inconvenient, I request that you refer to me by that name from here on. Well, I doubt we will meet again after this. It had always bothered me since we first met. Every so often she would perform these strange, unnatural reactions. Like every single movement of hers was calculated. All of her actions were artificial, manufactured. Like she was thinking of the proper response. The proper expression for each and every. Unless there is anything else, I bid you both a good day. What? Wait a second! Rune! No, Sarah, was it? Let me just say this much. No matter how you think yourself, Delphine and I consider you a friend. Sarah has started walking away from us until my statement stopped her. If you need us to help you, then we'll do everything in our power. So let me ask you again. Are you being held against your will and being forced to work? Or is all this because you hold that man, Rudo, in such high regards? Is there actually a way to pronounce this guy's name? She has her reasons. Ones she cannot disclose to others, or possibly ones that ones that people won't understand. She's here of her own free will, supposedly. But as Delphine said, that couldn't possibly be true. However, people have the right to reject associating with others as well. If she insists that much, then we ourselves are limited to what we can do. If you no longer want us to get involved, then Miss Vertona, she cut me off. I believe you are misunderstanding something. When a hammer is used, does it question the role as a tool? Does it curse its own dignity? I'm not being made work against my will. Once more, I will explain thoroughly so as to clear up any further misunderstandings. People are the ones who have rights, the ones who are given rights, and the ones who benefit from rights. Or someone like me, who has no authority, I do not have the right to reject people, as you so say. Likewise, I do not have the right to hold Master Rudo in high regards. That's because I am an object. Now have a pleasant day. Just what could have happened? How could someone change so drastically? Delphine's eyes lost focus. Milady? I think I'm a little angry right now. Now that it's gotten this far, it makes me want to keep on meddling in this, even if she starts to hate us. Still, she just told us her stance on the matter. If you continue to get involved with her, all you may end up doing is getting her to despite you. Not just that. Eh? Ah, well, you did mention it as well before. Is she Rune, or is she Sarah? Was her kind, cheerful behavior from yesterday all just an act? What I'm sure of is that I want to know the truth. But at the same time, I want to know more about this country and the outer pool just as much. I want to know if they really do practice slavery here, or if there's any other discrimination taking place. And I want to understand why I suddenly want to know all these things. Delphine, do you think we could accept any kind of discrimination? Bigotry, poverty, war. These are things that have been eradicated from Risenhide for the most part. Except for the beginning, when it comes to slavery, even if we understand the reason for it, it mentally refuses to accept it. Our mentality refuses to accept it. No matter what. That doesn't matter, Ritona. Even if we can't change anything, we have to first understand the situation, or else nothing will ever happen. Sylphie's eyes were filled with a level of dignity I'd yet to see in her, as she gazed towards the direction that Rune had departed. Night. After Sylphie had fallen asleep, I snuck away from the inn and headed for a certain place. Got a hold of some interesting information. From what I heard, there's a cemetery near the mana mine on the outskirts of town. Not too far from where Sylphine and I were carried by the stray effect. This just got creepy! About 10 or so minutes after making my way out of the forest, I come across something that looks like to be a cemetery. The place seemed to be fairly well maintained. None of it seemed to be in peculiar disrepair. A cemetery in the middle of a forest area in the dead of night? Awfully creepy indeed. The thick fog added to the unwanting, sinister atmosphere of the situation. Well, now, I push the gate open and take out the note that the innkeeper passed to me. Rune Zvet. On the note with Rune's name, written in their language. Now I just have to search the place from top to bottom, finding the engraving that matches. At the very least, I can be sure whether or not Rune, the little sister, actually moved on to the next world. 20 minutes have passed. This cemetery sure is large. Thanks to the fog, I can't tell how far I am from the entrance, but this is quite a large cemetery. Damn. What terrible timing. It's starting to rain. Just at glance, it seemed like I haven't even explored a third of this cemetery. You know, this cemetery is ridiculously large. Do all the Kedicity's deceased end up buried here? In any case, I can't have the weather turn even worse on me. I need to hurry up and check this area out. Ugh. Not even 5 minutes have passed, and it's already the drizzle has turned into a downpour. I'm getting creeped out right now. The rain penetrated my cloak. My cloak and coat gained straight to my skin. Not a good idea to keep looking around now. As I was looking for a place to shelter myself from the rain. Oh, fuck me! That startled me. It actually startled me. I had my volume up. Oh my god. Holy shit. No, thank you. I'm paralyzed. Are you searching for Mistress Rune's gravestone? I couldn't even speak. My heart. This is why I don't play scary games. This is why I can play Subnautica, because I played that before. Oh my god. That startled These headphones. I don't want to continue. Okay. I think I'm calm now. Oh my god! I don't want to. I need to calm down. I'll be back. Just give me a moment. Oh my god, that scared me more than it should have. Just give me a moment. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm calm. My hairs were all standing on end. I was keeping my guard up this whole time. I was prepared to cast Manacraft in case the worst come to worst. And despite that, no, more importantly, she has no presence, just like when we first met. And at the top of that, her eyes. This girl. Just who? What are you? Sarah's face remained expressionless as the rain battered amongst it relentlessly. It took everything in me just to keep my eyes open, but Sarah's eyes didn't even blink. You will not find Mistress Rune's headstone here. Why? Are you Rune herself? Who can say? Who can say? You're not making any sense! This property is under the Zvet group of companies. Trespassing is not allowed. Miss Ratona, I hope you do understand the situation you are in. She speaks softly, but firmly. Whoa, hang on. Her face. Please, don't trouble Master Rudo or the Zedev Enterprise. Leave this city as soon as you can. Well then, if you'll excuse me. And with those parting words, Rune disappeared into the forest. Might have been just me, but I feel like I saw lonely. I felt like I saw loneliness creep into her expression for just a moment. Just who was that I encountered last night? And Rune doesn't have a gravestone? Why? Does that mean Sarah is ruined? No, the townfolk all said Rune had died. Damn it! The more I think about it, the less it makes sense. So all of that happened. I see. I wish I could have been there too. Celsi made her displeasure quite clear to me to hear as she spoke out loud. I wanted to have a good talk with Sarah too. My apologies, but it was already so late, and if you don't get enough sleep, then mana shock might. I really want to have a good talk with Sarah too. Forgive me. I want to act on my own from now on. Please accept my apology. What should I do? Something continues to clear right at me. I didn't expect her to be this upset. Alright then. I'll have you make up for it for this sometime, okay? Understood. You know, Ratona, I know I'm not really all that useful. Not at all. No, it's fine. I'm not trying to put myself down or anything. It's just at the fact I'm not as smart as you are, and I can't use Battlecraft either. But if something were to happen, I might end up just being a burden on you. But you know, it's times like these that I rarely have to be with you. What do you mean by that? Ratona, you're always putting yourself in danger just to protect me. Just telling you to stop isn't going to help us either. if this were Rosenheim, I simply would appoint someone else to take your place. But right now, it's just the two of us, and this place so far away, like a different planet. We're travelers just trying to get back home. Your duty right now is to make sure I get back to Rosenheim safe and sound, right? It is. But if something happened to you, there's no way I could possibly make it all the way back on myself. So let's split this risk between us, okay? If something happens, there's no hard feelings between either of us. If not, then I... so sorry. I promise you, we're equals from here on. Right. Even though I said I held her opinion high regard, I ended up treating her like a child. It feels as if the haze that was clouding my mind was lifted. Now I'd like to propose something. By all means. See, I also want to try using mana. Oh boy. Rudo awakens in the boardroom, having spent the entire time looking at the document prior. He had a terrible dream. Why did I have that dream after all this time? The thought occurred to Rudo, but the answer came just as quickly. Sarah. Truly abhorrent. Those memories from childhood that he didn't want to remember. This is absolutely the worst. Saying hi and dropping it like driving. Welcome, Hydra. If you go back to a while, you'll see me get around 4 minutes or so, or no, 6-7 minutes. You'll see me get scared crapless. Yeah, so yeah, just go back like 6 minutes, and you'll see me lose it. Anyways, it recalls the deepest resentment he had harbored towards his father, and the feelings of pity and compassion he had for his mother. With no one to receive those feelings, they continued to plague him endlessly. All this stems from 20 years ago. Rune was a truly violent girl since her youth. Flashback! Not once would she take heart to anything said to her. She would have a way of just getting on anyone's nerves. No matter how hard people tried to understand her, they couldn't find any reason, and Rude continued to be a source of grief. She would generate hostility and strife with others, and in the meantime, slip away into the gaps as she laughed her head off. Maybe that's why she was someone who loved being violent. She was so intent on rebelling against something. It was like she was missing something important. It startled me, and it would be fine if I had normal speakers, but I got headsets on that give all surroundings. Scared the crap out of me. Anyways, yeah, actually, I was swear word there on accident, and I do my best not to swear. I try my best to not swear, but it is going to happen with things like that. This is why I don't play games like Alien Isolation or any of those scary games. And even in Subnautica, there's things where I get scared jumped shitless. Anyways, and I got something in my eye. That day, her left eye was swollen red, perhaps having been stung by an insect. Concerned for Rune, her mother forced her frail... No, I can't. I should have just kept my mouth shut. No, John Wayne, I should have just kept my mouth shut. Anyways, I've seen someone play through it too. Now I will never get it, but if someone bought me the game, I would play through it. but no one's gonna buy me that game. And if you do buy me that game, I will hate you for the rest of your life. Do not get me that game. Anyways, I will never get it, and I will never play it. Anyways, concern for Rune. Our mother forced her frail, weak body as she tried to bring Rune to a hospital on the outskirts of town. Mom's waiting for you, Rune. No. Look, I'll give you my dessert tonight, okay? Just listen to what she says for today. I don't wanna. Go away. Doesn't your eye hurt, Rune? If you don't get a doctor to take a look at it, you might never get to see that eye anymore. You don't want that to happen, do you? I don't care. This eye can go die. Oh, come on. Don't say something so silly. Rune, are you ready to go? Come on, Mom even pushed herself today. And got out of bed for that hospital can go die. And Dad can go die too. Rudo, you can go die. Everyone should just die. Don't say things so sad. Well, the truth is, I didn't particularly find what she said sad. Go die. I couldn't keep track of how many times she said that to me. Rune seemed to have figured it out with her limited vocabulary, saying that would inflict the greatest emotional harm. Another meaningless endeavor. She was a little devil who'd do the complete opposite of what you wanted her to do. On the other hand, if you told her the exact opposite of what you wanted to do, then she'd do it without question. So you can't use reverse psychology on her. Maybe she just took pleasure in causing people distress. A conversation with Rune really amounted to nothing more than one-way assault on you. Oh, Rune, you haven't changed yet. Sorry, Mom, she wouldn't listen to me. That's alright, sorry for making you deal with her. Come on, Rune. Let's have the doctor take a look at your eye now. No. I won't take no for an answer. We need to have that looked at right away. I found you a really good doctor. Oh, she's talking to her like a child. Oops, my bad. I found you a really good doctor. I'm sure he'll make it all better, just like that. No. Rune knew there was no point there was no winning in the argument with our mother, so I don't want to go. I don't want to go. She was just whine. This was the greatest form of resentment a child possessed. Once she started screaming, she would continue until her vocal cords were worn out. Ugh. Rune, please stop crying, okay? Once we're finished at the doctor's, I'll get you some ice cream from the Central Plaza. I don't want to go. She just wouldn't do as she was told. We had to force her to come along with us. 30 minutes after, Rune finally stopped screaming. While she was getting her checked up at the medical facility, Rune would constantly try to bite or lunge at the doctor in charge of her. Dr. Sonic continued to check up, but it was written all over her face that he was already at his wit's end. If this hadn't been a hospital under our family, he probably would have told us to never come back again. On the way back, we stopped by the central square for a breather. Goodness, whatever am I going to do with you, Rune? I'll try harder to deal with her. I'm sure if I'm just a little more patient with her, I can talk with her and she'll understand. I could stand to learn a thing or two from your patience with her. I swear, if you weren't here for me, I wouldn't know what to do. I'm sure Rune doesn't mean bad. I had to believe that, otherwise I couldn't possibly continue. Maybe when she grows older, then I'm sure. Continue considering her as my little sister. I'm sure of this. This is just a phase. It's just for a while. It won't last. Once Rune grows just old and a little older, even she will. I'll be fine. So don't worry about a thing, Mom. Rune came back with a broken stick. Who knows where she found that? Hey, don't play with that. It's dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous. She continued to run around screaming as she kicked dirt up with the stick and then dashed off to who knows where. Urgh. Goodness gracious. We need to get her back here. Who knows what sort of trouble she may cause. I'll go and get her. What? There's something she reminds me of, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Anyways, I gotta get a drink. My throat is getting very dry and is actually starting to hurt here, so just give me 1 second while I really play an ad here. Sorry about that, I had to get a drink. Also, sup, Stone. I just needed a drink there. My throat was getting parched from everything. Continue on, shall we? Also, Stone, right now, this game is really screwing with my mind. Just wait here and rest, Mom. No, I'll go with you. If she causes problem outside, I need to scold her properly. If only that could have been prevented. If only that could have prevented what came next. Oh. Gah! Just moments later, it took us a moment to even realize that the blood-curdling sound we heard was a scream. I don't do that without screaming. What was that? I ran to the source to see a boy convulsing on the ground while being straddled by someone. Oh, please don't show. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Viewer discretion is advised. Oh my god! Oh my... What is this game? It said mature, yes, but it's just... Oh my god! Oh, oh my god! Holy shit! Let's continue. That someone was ruined. She continued to stab the broken stick from earlier into a boy's face countless times while laughing hysterically, as if she had completely lost it. What? The whole area was just stained red. I've seen that picture before. The face. I've seen that face before from somewhere. Oh my god. Hang on, stream looks like it's being a bit... Oh, fixed itself, okay. Oh my god. I just need to check one thing here on stream health. Okay, all's good. Holy With how unreal and how unbelievable the scene was, my mind was just completely zoned out. I sure as the high holy hell that the rune slash Sarah we saw earlier is not this. Oh my god. I thought to myself, is this what it looks like if I splash the whole bucket of red paint on her? Hey, answer me. Oh. The boy wasn't even trying to dodge the stick that just kept coming to bear down on him. Oh my god. He was clearly unconscious. Rune! Die! Just die already, you stupid! Rune's voice was already hoarse and raspy. She kept screaming at the child to die. She no longer sounded like a child. Die! 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 Nor did that even sound remotely human. Holy shit, I do that way too well. Next moment, the boy just lurched forward unconsciously. When I came to, my clothes were drenched with and dyed with various shades of crimson blood. I'm fairly sure I managed to pull Rune away from the boy, but I don't have any clear memories of doing so. The boy was immediately brought to the Zeventite medical medicine. They took the boy to the hospital. No shite. Patient name Marcus Gavril's, age 8. He was the Hertz von Gavril's what was his name? Younger brother or something? The doctor performed the appropriate surgical measures, thankfully managed to save the boy's legs. However, they weren't able to save his left eye because of the extreme lacerations inflicted. The stick had pierced through his eyeball and created a large fracture in this. I don't even know this word. Bone of his skull, causing a huge mana imbalance in his body. Marcus would suffer chronic migraines from the remainder of his life. The reason why Rune attacked him was discovered later. According to her, he made fun of me because of my eye patch. This incident occurred when Rune was 6 years of age. The doctor remarked that the entire incident was quite bizarre. How resilient the child's eyeball was, its proportion, size, the durability and sharpness of the stick Rune used, all the facts had to have been just perfect for this whole incident to have happened. Apparently, it was practically impossible for a girl 6 years of age to inflict such a serious wound on a boy 2 years older than her. There must have been some element of surprise for her to have been able to stab such a vital point. One doctor said the incident was truly bad luck, or so he said. But he was wrong. There's no way. That was just sheer bad luck. This wasn't just some incident where Rune simply lashed out due to her emotions. Somewhere, deep inside her, she must have had clear intentions to harm and destroy from the very beginning. This little incident was just an excuse to exercise that malicious intent. After the incident, Rune received the absolute worst scolding of her life. Sheer badassery, like sheer terror. She apologized to every single person involved, bawling all the while. The peacekeeper, the police force in other words, gave a direct order to place her under infant house arrest. Or sometimes Rune simply stopped talking altogether. Of course, the responsibility of dealing with the aftermath fell solely on my mother and father's shoulders. The Zetaeves did everything in their power to make things right for the Groove family. We had Zetaeus Medisa provide the latest medical technologies. The exorbitant cost of treatment were all paid by the Zetaeus. Marco Groove's education was fully paid for. Even his parents, who were experienced troubles at work, were promised a livelihood as well. It all added up to be a very generous offer to the Groove family. At first, the Grooves had turned them down. However, as time went by, the family began to quarrel among themselves, arguing that it was a once-in-a-lifetime chance. In the end, Marcus' parents divorced. He and his mother left the city soon after. A day, a week, a month, a year. Time had passed. The Zevites, whatever, common grade continued to grow in power. Although deep scar left Zetaev's family slowly beginning to heal. With the passage of time, Rune slowly began to learn how to interact with other people. She began to speak more politely, as if the violent menace that was her had completely been overwritten, instead turning into a proper lady. She was much more considerate to other people, disturbingly so. My head is spinning so badly. In reaction to her incredible behavior, I harbored doubts. Did Rune truly learn anything from the incident? While I initially doubtful, the skepticism eventually faded away. More time passed since the Greville incident. Another 5 years. Mom, where's Dad? Oh, so now we got pictures. You should be home soon. You should get ready too, Rudo. It's been a while since we've gone out and eat dinner as a family. That day, Mother's voice had a distinct, cheerful tone to do it. Get ready? Or we're just going to Evil's, right? Oh! I think Rune... I hope Rune came around, but then again, you could... When she appeared in the, yard, in the cemetery... Wow. I don't think I need to dress that nice, do I? No can do. We're going out in public, so you need to dress properly. Rune, are you all dressed yet? Oh, look at her. She's so adorable. It was just only a few seconds ago that she was biting a kid's eye in. And about to kill, wanting murder. My dearest brother, you still haven't changed? Yeah, Mom and I were just talking now. Oh, brother. Well then, shall I help you? Help me with what exactly? Alright, with a change of clothes, of course. Don't be silly. It's fine, Rudo. Just let Room help you out, why don't you? Come on, brother. From the top. Don't joke around, I'll head back to my room. I'm gonna go get changed. Dad's coming home soon, right? Watch her kill their father. Well, something happened. Anyways, Well, if it isn't ain't my two favorite runts. Daddy's home, kids. Welcome back, Dad. Hello, Father. Welcome home. Why, hello, you two. My wonderful son and daughter. Huh? Wait. What's with the outfit, Rune? It's a dress for going out. Mom said it's because we're going out to eat. Are you crazy? Jeez, who needs to dress all up fancy like that? We're eating at a tavern, you know. I was telling them the exact same thing. Sid, where's your necktie? Thanks for that all out loud thinking. What do you mean? Oh. Come on, work's already over. Why can't I just take it off? You do realize you're still the president of the Dive Enterprise, right? If you dress that way, every single one of your business partners aren't going to take you seriously. I was thinking, and instead of thinking in my mind, if I was just sat there thinking like all quiet like that, you'd probably think, "What's going on?" So I'll just think out loud. Oh, my jaw really hurts. Anyways, come on now, put your necktie back on. We're already about to leave. We won't get back early if we don't. My mother continued to yell at my father as she hurried him on, storming up the stairs to the second floor. I finally come home early for once, and now your mom's giving me a third degree. Maybe she's mad because you don't come home like this. Aw, this music again! I love this music! I'm turning this music up. I love this music! We've got an important announcement to make. Goodness gracious, Mother, Father, you look both overjoyed. Oh, daughter of mine, starting next week you'll become a prisoner of society? A prisoner of society? You betcha. Now that you're gonna have to play with the Youch! Just be quiet for a moment. Yowie, 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 stop it. Rune, we formally enrolled you into an academy. You'll be going to school starting next week. Really? That's awesome. Congrats, Rune. You mean it? Oh, we're serious. Hella serious. I hate the word hella. Never mentioned the word hella. So next week, I really will be going to an academy with other kids. Oh, this doesn't. You can take a look at her eyes. Take a look at her eyes. You can see. Oh, actually, they just look normal, but still. Why did the quality just go down? Anyways. Oh, there we go. Anyway. You made a really good impression on them last week's orientation, they said. Even the principal said they'd love to have you on board. I'm so happy. I can't believe it. I'm going to an academy. I know it's not going to end well. I must be dreaming. I'm happy for you, Rune. I hope you can make a lot of friends. Oh, Hertzon. Yo, if it ain't Sid. Alright, hold on. That'd be about... it's about... Alright. Here on. It'll be about the sensitive ceilings. Took the words right out of my mouth. And here just wondering what you're doing, stuffing your face full. You come here to get smashed? Hurts. Don't make Sid drunk too much. You can't even take a little bit of alcohol. You know. Oh, come on, Alien. Don't be such a hard ass. Oops. We almost never get to meet each other these days. Oh, and you two are? Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Hertzvon. If I remember right, it's Rudo and... Rune. I don't believe my eyes, Sid. I take my eyes off you two for just a moment. Now you've grown up this big. Rudo, come here for a second. Yes? Boy, you sure got the real tall, eh? At this rate, you might end up growing past your dad. Yo, Hurts, stop pulling me out and you're gonna keep me waiting. We're doing a chugging contest, right? Hey look, Azadev's president and Hertz Vaughn are going to do a speed drinking contest. Huh? The president is he's way too damn rich to be racing like the... What? Ugh. I need a break for a second. Speaking too much. Then again, this is a speaking thing. Then who the hell is that? Wait, what? Don't be stupid. Just because I got money doesn't mean I can't go to a tavern. I ain't one bit more special than anyone here. I came here to take down the king of the tavern. Hey, Hertz, let's do this. Chug! 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 I swear we'll finally have a dinner out of the family. Don't worry, I'll send them back to you in a jiffy. I haven't seen this guy in so long. Let me just do a little catching up with him, okay? Jeez, fine. Sid, if you're going to do this, then you better beat him. Take that damn Hertz down. Mother? You got it! And you can deal with giving the judges some incentives too. Everyone wins. Everyone in the tavern gets a free drink as a present from us. For real? Hey guys, you better keep Hertz from chugging. Hey, no cheating. I thought this match was fair and square. Even when all going on, you seem to be enjoying yourself, Mother. Phew. Something wrong, Mom? No, it's just that this time is really amazing, isn't it? It heals everything, no matter how deep the wounds are. Even when you've given up, it gives you the strength to keep going once more. There was a time that I thought we'd never be able to speak for Hertz again. I apologize for what I've done, Mother. No matter how young I was, I brought shame and disgrace to our family. I truly am sorry for what I done. So I guess she did come around. I'm thinking she could be doing the whole... This is the scary thing about evil people. You can think they come around and they're all nice, but then they can do a 360 or 180 real quick. It's fine, Rune. It's all in the past. Rune, as long as you two grow up well and happy, that's all I need. Mother. Schmadamy schmadamy. Even if people don't go to school, they'll turn out perfectly fine. I hear ya, Hertz. You hear that, Rune? Even if you don't go to school, you'll be a perfect upstanding citizen. Just like me. You're just saying that because the alcohol is getting to your head. Yowie, 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 stop squeezing my cheeks. I was just joking. We're in for the entire outer pool through the government for years now. Compulsory education? Oh. Oops, my bad. Mispronounced that word anyway. As a system that makes sure children have the right to education. A society where kids have the right. You two need to keep this in mind. The people at the outer pool can't use craft, so you two need to study as hard as you can or you won't have anything to help you survive. Ah, don't be silly, Ellen. What? A person worth ain't determined by how much crap they shove in their head from school. In the sense of how they can change themselves from the knowledge they've learned through experience. Hell yeah, Hertz! You sure know the right thing to say for a drunkard. For heaven's sake, stop ruining the whole point of my story. Look, Rune, you're going to school next week, okay? Understood, Mother dearest. God damn it! I hate those words, Mother dearest, because in everyday living, we were learning about abuse, and we saw Mother dearest, the whole thing. No wired hangers. Ever since then, I can't even look at wired hangers without thinking that or whatever to think of Mother dearest. I called my Mother dearest once, only once. I will never call her it again. Good God. Uh-oh. Had to tell me something's going to happen. Ow! Sid. Oh, you brought Rudo with you. Hello, Mr. Alvarez. Sorry, it looks like I left a few papers and stuff. I see. Sorry, Rudo, I need to speak with your father in private if you don't mind. Huh? Okay. I guess you can just go do something to kill time. I have a bit of work I still need to do. Gotcha. Alright, I'll see you later. Okay, what's going on? You're looking pretty grim. And you're not looking too good yourself. Did you have too much to drink yesterday? I sure did. End up having a drinking contest with Hertz. Remember, I told you that we'd be enrolling Rune in a school again? I figured it's already been a while since that incident, so it should be alright now. Have you already told Rune this? Yeah, we celebrated it yesterday. She felt overjoyed. You should have been there, Albatras. Is that so? Something tells me something bad's going to happen. Hey, what's wrong? You're making a real scary face this whole time. It's quite the issue, Sid. Here are the cross-section of the Rune's brains from the MRI the other day. This is the cross-section when she gets mad. Here when she's happy. This is when she's sad. And this... Huh? Did the scan muck up or something? No. These are perfectly accurate. Even when I wasn't sure at first. But this is exactly what the culprit was. This is exactly what was captured, without a doubt. The scan shows Rune in entire range of human emotions. Then that makes even less sense. There's no change here at all. There are just a couple of copies of the same thing. Sid, I need you to calm down and listen to me. Rune has no emotions. Huh? Unlike you or me, or Rudo, her brain lacks the portion that controls emotion. I think it's a kind of congenital disorder or something. Congenital disorder. I've heard of stuff like this. There are people out there who have no emotions. And it's very weird. That would explain if... But... What? And that's why she couldn't feel pain. In part 2 of the stream, when she got hit by the barrel, that's why she couldn't feel pain. No. That's just not possible. What? I mean, I've seen her laugh. She's even sulking when Rudo was ignoring her just the other day. Just what do you call that? I can't say. But looking at the results of this MRI... Don't mess with me. If you weren't here, Alvarez, I'd be punching the living daylights out of you. And I'm being perfectly serious, Sid. This is no laughing matter. My daughter isn't human? Is that what you're saying? What? Are you... You are, aren't you? A person who has no heart, no emotion. Who are you kidding? We're human precisely because we have hearts. Look, I'm not trying to pull your leg here, okay? And I'm telling you, this has to be an error. The MRI is still pretty new technology. How can we be sure how accurate this thing is? And this is coming from the mouth of a person who invented it. You of all people should know how accurate the MRI is. Do you have any idea just how many advances in medicine science were made possible the last few years because of your creation? Rune not having any emotions? No, that can't be true. And the whole incident when she was a kid, there must have been some kind of mistake. Is that all true? Rudo. Another few months after that, we were able to mingle with our peers in the academy without an incident. Despite all of the Albatross said nothing out of the ordinary took place, we continued to live our peaceful lives. We were still worried about the Gruel incident, but most seem to have already forgotten about it. Ever since then, Rune has always been homeschooled. So there were many who didn't even know that had a daughter. With Rune's social behavior, she quickly became a popular student at the academy. She made many friends there. Perhaps because her home tutor had been very strict, it seemed as if all our classes were a little too easy. Our anxieties that were born from Albert's conjugation also ceased, and our peaceful life went on as usual. And of course, until one day, I came across Rune on our way back home from the academy, heading deep into an area of the park where most people normally wouldn't dare enter. Just what could she be doing that far in, I wonder. Curiosity getting the better of me, I snuck in and I got closer. Oh, well, at least it's not as bad as the other one, but... Oh no. It looks like I've been found. Since when have you been following me? Could you have been stalking me, perhaps? You... Why you? What are you? What are you doing? Well, I suppose I've been found out, otherwise it doesn't really matter. But you know, when people know, it's just such a pain. Right, Rudo? The tone of her voice suddenly changed. Answer me, Rune. What have you? It didn't change. What? It occurred to me how cunning she was, and that she didn't change one bit. What are you? Who knows? But seeing as I have no emotions, then I suppose I'm not human, at least. She knew? The theory was only known between me, Father, and Albas, and myself. How did she find out? When did she find out? Here's your reward for finding out my secret. An explanation from my dear, oblivious big brother, who cannot seem to grasp the situation. The only time that I feel emotion is when something happens which has been full of life meets its demise. When I take away the happiness from anyone, when a person dies, when a year of precious memories of love all crumbles away in a single moment. Do you understand? I take pleasure in observing the loss of others. That day, seeing the hideous twitching and spasms, the unsightly way something clings to the life so desperately, the very moment something turns into a mere lump of flesh, it truly reasoned with emptiness inside me. The moment I saw Rune's fake smile, I thought to myself with conviction, living beings are truly well-oiled machines. I cannot possibly let this thing grow into maturity. That night, I spoke to our parents about Rune, but they didn't take me seriously. I needed some concrete evidence to shatter the illusion she had built up the past 6 years. Please just get along with her, Rudo. You're her older brother, so look after her. So my mother said. Every single day, even didn't feel like living. My doubts weren't wrong in the slightest. If I took my eyes off for just a moment, who knows what could have happened. Rune grew in wisdom. I doubt there would be any more sudden outbursts like with the Gruel incident. Whatever she was going to do next, it would be planned and calculated innocently. I lived from day to day, constantly preparing for myself for the worst. For a while, I started to probe in her interactions and routine. I even asked the local peacekeepers. When I asked about any particular incidents, I couldn't believe what they told me. Dead animals. That ain't any news. That ain't news anymore. These past 2 years, there were numerous reports of small animal corpse spotted, murdered, because they all involved some kind of blade impalement using to mutilate the bodies. It was clearly a human who was doing the responsibility. These disgusting acts continued to increase. I was told to report anything suspicious as soon as possible. I was at a loss of what to do. Do I turn Rune in? Right now? Without a single shred of proof? Merely claiming to have seen her do it is paper-thin evidence. No. More than that, when I imagined my mother's face, I just couldn't bring myself to report Rune. I had to stop Rune. I can't allow my mother to experience any more pain or suffering. From that day onward, I had to do something about it. Myself. I just got goosebumps. This is part of the trailer video I showed earlier. Whenever possible, I always kept Rune on a tight leash. I noticed you've been paying extra special attention to me recently, brother. I'm so happy. As each and every day went by, hearing Rune's emotionless words, I was more and more convinced Rune had continued to observe everything around her, creating a facade in order to gain her freedom and our trust. And that... But you know, I'm getting tired of this. She collapsed. The tea my mom drank was discovered to have contained a poisonous mana-infused substance called Process 1. However, luckily, due to her weak body, her body had rejected the mana before her body had taken in a lethal amount. She managed to escape with her life, at least for the time being. Upon being informed, the peacekeepers conducted a formal search. At the same time, Rune disappeared from the residence. A few days later, it came to light that Rune had snuck into the Zediva Medica drug room and had stolen enough Process 1 to kill over 10 people. Several days after that, several top executive companies beyond the outer pole with whom Zviz was former partnerships were found dead, poisoned with Processed 1. Negotiate between the outer pole and the second sector were immediately cut, and the plans for expansion that my father had been working on for 4 years were all scrapped. It was a huge blow to the Zedev's companies. The next day, a cargo ship docked at a port nearby and unloaded mana shock. Anyone from the outer port who goes beyond its borders will die from mana shock. 1 second. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Had to do something real quickly for the vacation we are taking to Florida on the 6th. But oh my god, this game! Even a child would know this. Hence, it was hard to believe that Rune could have tried to leave of her own intent. Eventually, it was declared a cold case. Just what was Rune trying to accomplish? Was her death an accident? It hadn't dawned on me at the time, but I would realize it eventually. My mother's spirit finally broke and she refused to eat anything. Silvereth made her. She passed away due to wasting away. Father could no longer speak right and confined himself in his laboratory. The Zedev family was ruined. Just like destroying a carefully stacked house of cards in an instant for her. Her suicide was a calculated move in order to deal the greatest possible blow to the devs. There must have been no other reason. In order to destroy, she had to destroy herself. That was Rune in a nutshell. I don't know. You know what? Should I make this longer? There's 8 chapters, so 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 3 chapters left. Oh my god, and I don't want to leave on this cliffhanger. I really don't. You know what? We're going long. This is long. This will be a special long live stream of Fault. Oh my god, I am not going to leave myself on a cliffhanger like this because I won't be able to play this again until I get back, and I am not going to wait a freaking week to get this done. we're gonna do this. This live stream will go until we finish this. This is going to be a long special live stream. Yeah. Excuse me. Would you happen to be Albas? And you are? We're Sarah's friends. Friends? Unfortunately, I have to inform you that Sarah does not have any friends. Perhaps you misunderstood. Again with this. Beating around the bush isn't going to help. Let's just get straight to the point. We're travelers. When we arrived to this city, we were completely clueless. Sarah was extremely hospitable and accommodating to us. We are incredibly grateful to her. However, it seems that her goodwill worked against her, as I hear she is now being punished for her actions. The leader of the Zevite organization that you work for is apparently going to take measures against her. I had heard about this from Rudo. So it was you that... Please, could we speak with you even for just a moment? Sorry, but we have our own issues to deal with as well. Even if you come to me and all that in mind, this isn't a matter that can be taken lightly. About Sarah. When we first met, she had introduced herself to us as Rune. What? What did you just say? Alba's Masik expression changed in an instant. It seems that anyone deeply connected with will have quite the reaction to the name Rune. Now we just need one more push. I promise you, if this matter is not of your concern, then we will not press you any further. I understand that this is incredibly presumptuous of me, but I simply want to confirm a few things. I seek to have a discussion with you. Shall we take this elsewhere then? Yes! Our lodging is just on the outskirts of town. Is that alright with you? Just the two of you? I suppose this can be chalked up to cultural differences. Regardless, the answer is no. If you want to talk, then let's do so in the park, into Central Square. At this time of day, there are people around, and it should be much quieter than this place. Please go ahead. I'll leave as soon as I settle the bill. What's just with his attitude? Delphine, what's the matter? I have a feeling that in this culture, men are still predominantly in the position of power. Huh? That can't be. Considering how much the civilization has progressed, it's rather hard to believe. You never know. Without any craft, then a normal girl couldn't really beat a guy in a fight. Rasenheim was like that before too, right? A male-centered society where brute force means everything. Just how long ago was that? Still, that doesn't explain his initial demeanor. I can't quite tell whether the city is progressing or regressing. Is something on your mind? No, it's just... I thought that it's kind of scary that if that was the case. Violent crimes, though seldom, still do occur in Rosenheim, but ones born from sexism are just about non-existent. That is true, but when things are simple as this, to have to be explained to be understood. Do you think we could ever understand each other? You do? Have a point. I couldn't. Man, I was having a hard time to speak there. Wait. However, if you become fearful from that, the name Rosenheim will be tarnished. As long as there's no minor obstacles between us, I'm sure we can talk and reach mutual understanding. Yeah, I know. Sorry to keep you waiting. Thank you for taking the time to meet us. By the way, who advised you to talk to me about this? Oh. We give Albras a short rundown of the events till this point. I see, so it's Hertz, eh? Is he doing well? Doing well, I suppose he is. If he weren't, he probably couldn't be able to down that much alcohol. I see. That's just like him. If I may presume, does this mean that it's been a while since you've last met? Yes, it's been quite a while. Let's say things happened. In any case, we don't want to introduce ourselves. Why don't we introduce ourselves properly? My name is Albrecht Falster. I serve as the CTO of Zaitev Enterprise. I'm Retina. Retona. Darn it! Ugh. I see Retina. I don't know why. My mind mixes the T and the I. What does it do? Why do I say Retina? It's Retona. It's right there. Retona. Retona. A traveler. I'm Selphine. Retona's fellow traveling companion. It's a pleasure to finally meet your acquaintance. Excuse me. I have an unrelated question that I was hoping you could answer. You mentioned some sort of title, but I don't quite understand what it means. Rudu also mentioned something similar. CTO? It's for Chief Technological Officer. You can think of it as a person in charge of the technical side of things. I see. I think. Rudu is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. In other words, he's the topmost position. He is at the topmost position of the dev enterprise. Whoa, that's a lot easier to understand. It seems these titles serve as positions when introducing oneself. Chief Executive? So that's basically like the president? Well, technically, technically not quite. But well, nuisance is the same. I see. I take it your home country doesn't have such titles such as entities such as corporations. Wait a minute. Do forgive me for commenting, but if I'm not mistaken, you appear much older than Rudo. So he has so how is it that he is allowed to wield absolute authority? So you are straight to the point, aren't you? Well, you have a point. Rudo or Rudo? I guess if there was it'd be an E. No, well, whatever. Is mere 22 years of age, after all. 22? Just 3 years apart from me. He's just 3 years away from Ritona. With that expression of his. Amazing, isn't he? He's much younger than I am, but he's able to keep a company this huge running so well. So do you mean he's the leader of a really huge organization? That he is. In terms of sheer scale, he's one of the largest on the entire outer pole. Well then, is there some kind of ceremony for those people who become the leader? A ceremony? Yes, a ceremony. Well, it's not quite a ceremony, unless you're referring to promotion parties. Party? It's a celebration event. Well, during our travels, we heard of this country whenever it chooses their next ruler. It's a ceremony called the pass down. They inherit all of their predecessor memories, experience, and knowledge. A kind of culture wherein the descendants of the next generation will be able to gain the qualifications they need to be the next ruler. A pass down is the continued for many generations, serve as a bolster the strength of the country and also shows a strength of unity within the citizens. Is that true? For someone so young to inherit such a large kingdom, well, company, in that case, has to be qualified to be. So you need like a ceremony like that, right? By inheriting knowledge, I can take it that you mean that they are educated and groomed by their predecessor. Educated, well, is a part of it, but it's not something as indirect. The experience and knowledge is directly transmitted. Tilted his head. Directly transmitted, not via speaking, writing, or teaching, eh? There's no such thing then. Us folks in the outer pole have to use words, speech, and more concrete forms of communication to convey what they're thinking and feeling. There's no other way for us to do so. It's impossible for us to directly transmit knowledge, as you say. I suppose that in the outer pole culture, there is no such ceremony to install leaders, as you mentioned. Why do you ask? Well, that's because we're wandering around different countries, traveling to learn and study more about the world you see. By experiencing all sorts of cultures, we like to expand our knowledge on the vastness of this world. Sounds like quite an undertaking, especially considering the world's state of affairs lately. I envy both of you. If I weren't from the outer pole, I would have loved to travel the world as well. Oh, but I digress. Let's get back to the heart of the moment. For confirmation's sake, you said that Sarah introduced herself as Rune, correct? Yes. You know about Rune, don't you, Albaz? I know her. We were like a family up until she died. Rune and Rudu's father, Sid. We were all very good friends. Sid and I built the dev enterprise from the ground up. Impressive. He's quite the individual. Hertz Vaughn sure knows all sorts of people. Had been, does that mean Sid is? He passed away about 3 years ago. But Rudu is still 22 years old. He must have still been awfully young. Quite a long story behind that. Well then, could you please tell us about the relationship between Rune and Sarah? Are they one and the same? Yes, we're completely in the dark about what's going on. Please tell us more about Sarah. Just who is she? Is that her real name? Her real name, eh? That name is a term we use in order to pertain to Sarah. As for whether it qualifies as a name, well, I suppose that depends on your definition of what a name is. Judging by how you're referring to her, should we take that to mean that she really being treated as a slave? What? Oh, excuse me? We're merely travelers knowing nothing of the customs land. However, from what we've heard from treating people like belongings is something that should not ever be tolerated. So right now, we can't even hide our astonishment regardless of this state of affairs. I see. You two were born and raised in a very good country. But just to clear up any misunderstandings, I have to inform you that she has no slave. It's just a few decades ago that slavery was outlawed in this country. Although there is some who still wrench folks out there, wretched folks who are out there still practice it, it's absolutely sacred. Then that makes even less sense. Why do you refer to her as if she were an object? Precisely because she is an object. Oh, so she is a robot or something. You asked about her name earlier, yes? The word Sarah, in terms, refers to her. It means synapse, architecture, review, and assessment. We took the first letters of each word and formed the title of the report written up when she was first constructed. That's why it technically isn't a name, it's an acronym. What? Constructed? That doesn't make sense. The music. That music. Dun, dun, dun. Sarah was made? Sarah is a product of the Enterprise last president, Sid Zertfight, created to handle mana-related tasks in the outer pool. Sarah is a machine. You must be joking. A machine? Although our company's Enterprise is well known for mana and energy conversion and energy supply service. Wait just a minute here. A machine? By machine, do you mean something like a clock? Well, certainly on a completely different dimension of complexity. But yes, in a sense, I suppose I do. With all due respect, I just can't believe that. Well, I suppose most people wouldn't. Machines do not possess sentience, do they? Possess sentience, do they? Whatever was with us yesterday was clearly sentient and had a strong sense of self. She was aware of her surroundings, knew right from wrong, expressed judgment, and was able to display compassion for others. Intriguing. Will you happen to be acquainted with philosophy? Not really. I would say I'm on that level of familiarity. When asked on the difference between what is and what isn't a human, being able to go straight to the question about perception ability is a proof that one has been although educated these matters. Your homeland is truly must be rich. In varieties of aspects, I'm envious. Wait just a moment. In regards to your assertion, I cannot say that word for the life of me. That assertion that Sarah is a machine, all I can see is an excuse for you to treat her as you do now. I'm answering your question fully aware that most likely you would be in disbelief. You're afraid to believe me, or otherwise. In fact, if I were in your place, I probably wouldn't believe it myself. Realistically speaking, there is no way to verify your... Retona, let him speak, okay? In any case, we're both at a dead end anyways. This way we can see if he's telling the truth or not, okay? Seems to be holding the power in their relationship. Quite intriguing. Regardless, we still find it difficult to swallow your claim that Rune is indeed a machine. Perfectly sensible. To be honest, much of it remains a mystery to myself as well. Abbas? Yes? If you don't mind, we'd like to show you a kind of craft, if you so please. Mana craft, you say? Are you two mana crafters? Yes, we are mana crafters who come from a country far away from here. You said you were travelers, but do you think you were from the inner pool? Are you sure about this? Consider where you are right now. What about mana shock? According to Rudu, we have 3 days or 4 days remaining. We are shouldering the risk by voluntarily being here. I see. I think I know how to graph on how gravely you two view this matter. Seeing as you are willing to divulge all this, I should take it to mean that you are deadly serious about all this. It wouldn't be fair to keep one-sidedly asking you for information after all. I do appreciate this sentiment, but unfortunately I do not have the time. I'd endlessly be trapped in that office for tomorrow until the next week or so, with little no free time to spare. I still have some matters to attend to after this as well. That won't be an issue. This craft will be over in the blink of an eye. Just as she says, this craft won't take much of your time. I'm not quite sure I follow. What should I do exactly? For the meantime, all we need is your trust in us. All we wish to do is exchange information with you. If there's any information or knowledge you'd like us to impart, then we can share it directly with you at the same time. Sharing information directly? Before we go any further, this means that you don't have any reservations with talking with us, right? Yes. Although I do have my limits. It's just that I don't have time to explain everything full. That's alright, you'll understand in a few minutes. Will you trust us? Okay. I trust you. Thank you very much. Alright, Tona, can I have a little mana? Your wish is my command. Good grief. This is sure quite a turn of events. I can't believe I get to see Manacraft perform in the flesh. Now I'm a little anxious. We'll explain further on the other side. Now. Other side? Whoa! Selphine had already begun converting mana. She's so concentrated on the task that she doesn't even notice my speaking anymore. There's no naturally present mana, so my internal mana isn't stabilizing. I didn't expect conversation to need this much concentration and stamina. Just how did Retona craft her sword so quickly? Alright. This should do it. Selphine opened her eyes wide. Seems like she finished preparations. Is it just me, or are her eyes more radiant than before? The sheen of her hair, too. Even her skin seems to be radiating a weak light. Shall we begin? Huh? Yes. Excuse me for a moment. Delphine presses her right index and middle finger together, and index and right middle finger together, and touches his temple. Abbas' temple. Are you alright? It seems to be taking longer than usual, perhaps because we're in the outer pool. Yeah, it's been a while, so I'm a little nervous. No need to tense up this much. Craft isn't going to be any harm. Phew. Your body will warm up a little, as if you had done some light jogging. I see. Now, if you please. Bless? Understood. Whoa. Whoa! What a strange sensation. I can't feel my physical body, but I'm conscious and sinking. It's like getting stuck in the deep darkness. Okay, I stopped sharing link with you, Abbas. Next is Retona. Damn it. Retona as well. Selfine serves as a intermediary connecting the three of us. That allows all of us to share our consciousness. Is that even what we will now conduct is referred to as mind dive. It's a type of manacraft that falls under comcraft, comcraft, which is mainly used to establish links between conscience of one or more parties. How do you feel, guys? This all feels very strange. The sounds around us slowly fading away, and that my conscience is becoming trapped inside. Inside, there's a girl, Sophine, whose existence is growing more and more pronounced. You're just about ready to, Retona. Could you bless, please? Understood. Suddenly now, Retona just eating in my consciousness. All of this, truly, there's no words I can use to describe all this. Let's begin. This place is Lab 9? How did we get in this place? This place is called Medios. Is there an encyclopedia for this? Nope, there's no, okay then. Mediastrom High or something? It's a space saving as a materialization from your form of your subconscious. The manifestation of my subconscious? The manifestation of my subconscious? Did my thoughts just flow out without my knowing it? We're currently in the realm of your subconscious. My subconscious? All the things you wish to ask us, and anything information that it allows you to convey is purely as is. In the sense, you ought to be able to hear my own thoughts as well? I hear her mouth isn't moving, but I can still hear her voice. I'm sure it comes as quite a surprise to you, but I'm sure you'll quickly get used to it. I see. How do I put it? As if I wandered straight into a fairy tale. Normally this craft, a mind drive, is supposed to last but a moment or two. A conversation that would normally last an hour would only take a split second. Though there are some conditions that may cause it to take longer. Most of the time, where there's multiple people like this, it does take quite a bit longer. This time, since the three of us and that less alienizing to Alvast, I've structured some more conversation between us. I'm grateful for that, I suppose. Should I? Now that I'm one who can't follow the conversation? Should I now that I'm the one who can't follow the conversation? I can tell you're pretty nervous about this, so I'll try to explain it a bit better. As Tona said earlier, Medistrum is a space manifested from your subconscious. And here there's no distinction between truth and lies. The only thing here is the mana within your body and mind, containing your pure, unadulterated memories and the conscience of your mind that allows you to convey them. Convey my memories, both my conscious and subconscious. Humans do have memories which they'd rather not let others know of. Your conscious and subconscious itself have the right to choose what you want to show us and what not to. There are things you feel you must tell us and things you feel you mustn't. That is interesting. So much for hiding anything. For these sealed off memories, even someone like me who can freely use mind drive cannot peek into those. Essentially, except for the things you choose to tell us or show us. The rest of it will not become conveyed to us. I can't believe such amazing technology actually exists in this world. The mind drive is quite a peculiar craft. Only those who can use passed down can utilize it. Basically, the craft is only royalty can use. It's not something that needs to be shared. So I'm keeping these thoughts and memories closed off. Is that so? I don't fully understand. But that means we can take our time here and discuss whatever we wish at our own pace? No, we don't need to go about it in such a redundant manner. You should be able to communicate via sense as well. Once you open up the information we need to exchange. Whatever you like to share with us should freely flow out. Huh? Nothing's happening. Looks like we need a little more time. I suppose this was like dealing with someone from the outer pole. The flow of internal mana is a little stagnant. It'll take some time for us to react. Why don't we relax a little until we get used to it? Sooner or later, you won't have to speak. Instead, our conscience will just freely share information. Alright. So this really is quite a strange experience. It's like I can see straight into the two of you. Your personality, your humanity, I can perceive directly. And we can say the same about you, Alas. This room represents who you are as a person. This space is clean, well organized, lighting is just right, and the entire area is stable. It's a sign that your thoughts are coexisting assembly with ours. If the compatibility is off, then the incongruencies in one's personality would either reject the mind drive entirely, or the space of the midstream high would be dark and wrapped. I see. I appreciate the compliments, but I'm not exactly the nicest person there is. Truth is, I've had some doubts about you. That you may be industry spies. For all I know, you might have been sent by HIV. We've known. Rather, we felt that from the back. But now I see clearly, so clearly now. Like the anxieties in my heart are being cleansed. The two of you are truly simply want to talk to me. And more than that, you two are truly worried about Sarah. Oh, it's begun. When discussing the siblings and Sarah, there's another vital person we must discuss. Sid. He is the founder of the enterprise and the father of Rudo, whatever, and Rune. His entire family was never an affluent one. Born the eldest son of the family since he was a child, he was different from his peers. I'd been with him since I was young, and we were practically brothers. Of all the people who I'd grown up with in the slums, he was the only one who I retained friends to till the very end. Sid's father was representable, a worthless man, an alcoholic who became violent within his own family, truly savage. He wouldn't lift a finger to do any honest work, instead using his shady connections for get-rich-quick schemes to smuggle large amounts of purified mana into the outer pole. When Sid was 9, the man said that he would leave to find work elsewhere, and promptly disappeared to Chaldea. Sid had to take care of his weak mother all by himself. In the time the idea of using Manacraft, the energy had existed in Chaldea, insisted we had to use coal or kerosene to make it through the winter. The winter cold was so harsh that there were numerous casualties every year. It was where we lived, the slums, that was always hit the hardest. If only we had some kerosene. Until he lost his mother, Sid often repeated the phrase. He and I did our damnedest working with everything we had to keep his mother in good health, but of course we were still only 9 years of age. Whatever we made never amounted to much. After 2 years of painful struggling, Sid's mother passed away when we were 11 years old. That year, something inside Sid changed. He'd always been prejudiced against the world, cursing every chance he got, but it changed completely. Perhaps he came into an infinity. Unless he changed, the world would swallow him up whole. If he goes on like this, life around him amounted to nothing more but him crawling in the dirt. He accepted the injustice and brutality of the world. With his mother passing, Sid was alone and free to do what he wanted. Whenever he had time, he would talk about mana. At the time, it was so completely beyond me. Sid's father, whom he hated, was obsessed with mana. Although he had hated it, he continued to pursue it, which wasn't something one would expect. God, my throat is hurting, my jaw is hurting at the moment. Unlike his father, however, he wasn't interested in short-term get-rich schemes. While we continued working in the coal mines, he would pilfer sediment that had trace amounts of color mana in them and bring them back as research materials. Owie! Phew. The foreman was in a pretty bad mood today. I knew this was going to be some hard work, but I tell ya, being a coal miner ain't something a human ought to do. It barely pays enough just to put food on the table, too. God, my joints are all screaming in pain! Still, we ought to consider ourselves lucky to even have work. Looks like this year's winter is going to be incredibly cold as well. At least it's freaking hot while we're working. I'd rather be moving around and working than just sitting around in school all day. Way more fulfilling. Who the heck would want to waste their childhood in a dump like that? Not me, that's for sure. Haha, you have a point there. Alright, Abs. Let me show you something really cool. What is that? That's right. It's sediment. Not a lot of it, but there's definitely a little bit of color mana inside. Where did you even... While we were mining. The coal mine might actually be a mana mine. What have you done, Sid? Don't tell me you're going to sell that. No way. That's dirty money. They'll find you out and throw you in prison. Well, don't be stupid. Like I could sell such a valuable sample. Sample? Actually, this isn't the first sample I found. The first one I found was a smaller than a pea. But then I dug deeper. The sediment just kept getting bigger and bigger. You've been sneaking out sediment for that long? Look, just listen to what I have to say first, okay? I made a pretty interesting discovery. Come by my laboratory later. Laboratory? You mean your house, right? Oh, come on. The name's pretty important, okay? If I said my place, it wouldn't get you fired up. I'm struggling to understand your logic here. Look, just pay me a visit, alright? Besides, we couldn't head straight there, could we? Oh, well, I suppose we could, but... Today's the day when Mom, you know, I thought I'd leave her flowers or two. I see. It's already been that long. Anyways, just meet me at the laboratory. See you there. Fast forward a few years later, we began to immerse ourselves in color mana purification research. We conducted all sorts of absurd experiments. Sid loved high-risk experiments, a trait he may have inherited from his father. On one occasion, he suffered mana shock and ended up being unable to move his left arm. As I continued to support Sid, we both spent our adolescence years in mana research. Every day, every single day of it, we toiled as if possessed by God of mana himself. After countless failures, we finally succeeded. But finally, we were able to purify colored mana. If it isn't self-praise or exaggeration, it truly was this discovery of the century. News quickly spread throughout the entire outer pole. Then one day, we began looking for investors who were willing to commercialize the mana system. Why? Tell me. Just what was all that hard work for then? What exactly are we going to do if we don't look for investors? The conversation eventually with just this filter isn't good enough. If the sediment has low mana concentration, then that means there isn't going to be enough energy. Just how much time do you think it takes to convert enough energy to match a candle that lasts burning for 2 to 3 hours? At this point, coal mining is still more efficient. Well, of course, our research is just in its initial stage, of course, so we continue our lines of research then. By the way, have you heard of electricity before? Electricity? Oh, you're talking about that person in the third sector who's trying to control energy from lightning. That's right. But from what I hear, this technology is still in its infancy. And it's not only that, it's quite dangerous. According to the opinion of the Board of Science, it probably wouldn't see any widespread use anytime soon. The opinion of those idiots over at the board ain't worth their salt. If mana didn't actually exist, then I'm sure he'd heck be looking into electricity too. Besides, if... Man, I'm talking so fast right now. Besides, if we're talking danger here, mana is just as guilty. Heck, it might be that mana is way more dangerous than electricity. What would make you say that? My left arm's been acting up again lately. Does it still hurt? Nah, not exactly. Feels like it, I don't know, weird, like it's slowly being eaten away at something. What in the... Has to be the way since you weren't able to move it. No, just recently. I didn't say anything at first because it really didn't get in the way of work, but it's been hard to ignore lately. I wonder what's causing it. No clue, but one thing for sure, there's a whole lot of unknowns we've yet to discover about mana. As well as further research, we succeeded in generating a stable use amount of mana. In the meantime, we managed to meet willing investors who were interested in our work despite our youth. We sure got lucky, I commented, but since it no, we made this happen in response. He was the type who hated any fatalistic mindsets. A few years later, everything was going smoothly, thanks to the investors. That type of enterprise was established without a hitch. At the same time of its founding, Sid married a girl from a neighboring town who had entered the company. Her name was Ellen Crossroad. She was unnaturally beautiful in her eyes and pearly white skin. Outspoken and imbued with strong sense of justice. However, when she had been born with a weak condition. like Sid's mother. Her and Elaine's wish was to benefit other people from the world. She was the type of person who could change the atmosphere just by being there, no matter how rebellious or how I can speak. I assure you, I can speak. I swear, I can speak. Regardless of how concentration someone is, they would immediately become docile and obedient when they faced with her. One couldn't help but think she was a good person, regardless of logic or reason. She was a simple, truly lovable human being. There wasn't anyone who would inspire her by zeal. As the dev grew in power, so did its profits and efficiency as it continued to devote itself to the greater good. It didn't reach its peak efficiency, but when winter came, it managed to cut casualties down to less than half. The company continued to gain influence. As it continued to grow in fame and fortune, Rudo was born. Rudo, he was truly a brilliant child. God, am I so much speaking? I probably should have just cut. Oh, but I don't want to end this here. We live our days in happiness. At the time, we hadn't realized that something unbeknownst to us, we had created a great and powerful enemy. Hey Sid, Elaine, do you hear about Haven? That's the company of the idiot who tried to control lightning, right? Of course I have. I have too. And none of it any good. The filter they're using is the one that Sid's design. Shouldn't we do something about them? Who cares? Honestly, I don't even know why they're trying to do it with the old relics and the filters. But that clearly means he's painting a target on your back. He must be bitter that you've ruined his plans for electricity. Ha! The bastard can do whatever the hell he wants to. He failed to make electricity succeed, and he's got a grudge against us, and now he's sticking his neck into mana industry. And to top it all off, he's using products of his rival designed to start up his own company. He sure has guts, I'll give him that. I promise you, we're equals from here on. Huh? Don't be stupid. I wouldn't do anything like that. He's got no vision. Touché. But you do have a point. What does he hope to accomplish by using those filters? That's a losing strategy when going up against us. Well, who knows? We're up against someone who's trying to use his enemy's ideas against him. You'd be surprised at how tough a nut job like that is to take down. What's wrong, Ellen? You seem pretty pale. I have a bad feeling about all this. How come? It's just everything has been going so smoothly for all of us. Something's got to happen sooner or later. Hey now, you're talking about karma. We ain't done a single awful thing to anyone. Why do you think we need to pay back for all the happiness we've been experiencing so far? I suppose so. A few years later, Rune was born. With almost inexplicable timing, Have experienced an experience of growth. Despite being of it no competition in terms of both experience and mana, and the underlying technology, they managed to one-up us in terms of business acumen. Their expansion was abruptly unprecedented. No one was able to anticipate that Havens could gain enough power to compete with his Zevite in just a few short years. Mana is likely becoming a highly dangerous substance to us residents in the outer pool, just to have been Sid when his left arm was infected. Make one mistake, and you could lose your life. Sid knew that well. Because enough vessels of the company were secured, Sid was able to prioritize development of medical treatments when Zevite Enterprise was first established. Elaine spearheaded the charge, having Zevite assemble every skilled doctor around founded Zevite Medica. People had to undergo proper training to handle mana as part of their Zevite works. Zevite dedicated its resources to educating and training its employees. However, it takes time to develop competent mana miners and sediment handlers. Regardless, developing skill, education, and personnel in providing a safe work environment were top priority. On the other hand, Haven's strategy was completely ignored. All such safety protocols were exploited to poor economic situations. A strategy. Process 1. From mana, creating humans who could continue to work without sleep or rest, who could produce antibodies that could combat mana. Furthermore, the subjects of the drugs were promised lifetime employment, immunity to low-level mana shock, and superhuman strength. Haven pondered its efforts into making itself as entirely as it could to those kinds of abilities, serving as to exact its subjects all the more. The mass ate up Haven's hyperbole-filled slogan. It was a devious strategy that resonated with everyone at the time when employment was at an all-time low. Hey, that was just too much. Yeah. The after effects on subjects, I can't believe they're that horrible. Completely losing it because of insomnia, turning into nothing but skin and bones. Body is rotting away due to partial mana shock. That abbey was filled with victims of Haven's operation. Some penitents even had to be carried off to a church in the neighboring town. I know. How's the stream going? I haven't checked on the stream at all. Well, is it going good? I've been too busy. We're gonna finish this game. We're going to finish this one. We got another problem. I brought Ellen and the medics chief over to Firth in appropriate construction at the general hospital under his device, but they gave you the stink eye. Yes, or rather, we were assailed with some rather unbecoming speech. It was because of people like us that the god of mana was angered and causing these victims in the first place. That was the divine reputation. Shite. I can see. Alright, for being blinded by our greed and desire to convene. Damn, I can't exactly tell you whether or not the priest was right. But this isn't the time for that. I believe I need to persuade the medics even more now. Why does the government just outlaw the human testing of Process 1? That would solve the problem altogether. I'm sure the Board of Science would do something than the government would. I doubt that. Why? People are dying here. The technology to create Process 1 from mana was developed on the outer pole. Only those who have been trained can make it. And of course, you need to use machinery that is only available in the outer pole. So, here's my take on the whole situation. The government, the Board of Science, and Hayes are all in cahoots, secretly exporting Process 1. What? Why would they do that? First possible use comes to mind is the same thing Harvard does for their workers. Drugs to dope up crafters. Performance enhancers for armies. Maybe even they found a way to weaponize this stuff. It's still a pretty new substance depending on where the research goes. They can find all sorts of uses for it. No. Well, not that I have any proof or anything, it's just a guess. Sid, you're the worse your predictions get, the more likely they are to come true. Anyways, putting that all aside, let's get back on track. Like I said, I don't plan on getting that hospital. I don't give up on getting that hospital set up. But Sid, a vast majority of the patients would rather seek salvation from the church than medical attention from a hospital. Oh, my jaw. I'm sure they get into an overcrowded abbey just then a newly built hospital, and if that's impossible, they just resign themselves to death. Do people hate us this much? Can't be. We didn't do anything to people to hate us that much, right? I suppose to the average layman, there isn't much difference between Haven and us. In any case, I don't see the real point in constructing a hospital with the way things are going now. Damn, what do we do then? Well, Sid, I have a plan. What it's about the government made me thinking earlier. Why don't we just make the church allies of it? Huh? Financial backing is given. We renovate their facilities, get them new equipment, maybe even build a new abbey altogether. Then the name of the hospital after the church and put it under their management. But in exchange, the actual hospital operation will remain under Zvite Medica. What about that? Well, as they say, Rex Ragnai et non gebret. Whatever. They will not resign, but not govern. Wait just a minute. The entire thing's gone so huge, I don't even know where to begin. Besides, they clearly hate us. What makes you think they'd even want to work with us? I have a good idea. An idea? I hear that a questioned number of sisters passed away the other day due to contagions from mana shock. Oh, interesting. There were some who put their life on the line trying to subdue the patients grew violent and unstable. With love as their only weapon, they tried to quell some men who were many times stronger than they were, muscles swollen from dope effects. Anyways, they did absolutely everything in their power to provide the utmost care for these patients. So should we dedicate our next project to an absolute obedience autonoma to the sisters? And rather than models specifically made for mana minds, we should focus on creating humanoid models to help support the sisters. That way, we can protect the sisters from any contagious forms of mana shock, or any patients who grow too violent. So like Rune, or Sarah. A line, that's quite an ambitious plan, but it might actually work. Sort of poetic justice to all this. For people like us to make a living in science, probably the least realistic thing to do is to be saved by religion. Like we have to pay attention to little details like that. We have to focus on caring for patients and minimizing the victims. Father, we are indebted in being allowed to eye studs today. But of course, anything for the famous president of the Vite Industries, whom the church so despises. Now, what is it, Mr. Sid? What is it that you and your organizations need of us? My wife told me about your circumstances here the other day. I've heard that many sisters here are becoming victims of the subjects that we're trying to save. This is the unfortunate truth. The state of affairs that brought about the competition between you and Haven. By playing with mana, you treat the blessing of a god like mere toys. Do you understand that this is blasphemy? Do you have anything to say as a fool who chooses to ignore the faith and blindly pursues science until the bitter end? I have no words to offer in my defense. But we as Zvit have no intention of just giving up. Even if Zvit Enterprise were abandoned, this mana race, and let Haven win, that wouldn't put a stop to the victims. I can confidently say that we are on the side of good here. We construct our business to the highest moral and ethical standards. Okay, I need to take a break for a second. I need to get some water from my mouth here. Ah, God, I'm trying to binge this, and now that I said that, because these chapters are passing by so fast, and now they're not. Just give me 1 second. Let me save here. Thank you all very much for joining me on this extremely long live stream of Fault Milestone 1. I'll be doing it again later tonight because I'm not going to leave you guys and everyone on a cliffhanger so badly for a week. So yeah, so this is Too Tall saying thank you very much. Stay safe and have an awesome day. I'll see y'all later.